So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 1939. I'm giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I disliked it. Out of all the Frank Capra movies that I've seen, which only amounts to 3, I'm sorry to say that I dislike this one the most. If I had to rank the 3 ones that I saw, Meet John Doe is number 1. It's a Wonderful Life, number 2, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, number 3. In that order, I rank them. Which is not to say that I wasn't disappointed. It does have some interesting government corruption going on in the U.S. Senate. But that's the only thing it has for it. I kind of dismissed the drunk editor's 3rd grade history lesson on Meet John Doe as sort of a blip in an otherwise spectacular movie. But this movie is just like 3rd grade history throughout. And Frank Capra called himself an individualist. He fought against FDR, but he's in love with Lincoln and Washington and all those characters from grade school. He thinks he probably thinks that Abe Lincoln lived in a log cabin and he was an honest Abe. Anyways, there's that. There's a lot of big name actors in this, not the least of which are James Stewart, Claude Rains. A lot of familiar faces from other movies, including what's his name? Edward Arnold, who played the bad guy in Meet John Doe. He plays almost the exact same character in this one. It's like they copied Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and put it in Meet John Doe. The corrupt guy. It's the same guy, Edward Arnold. He played D.B. Norton in Meet John Doe, the corrupt guy. He's trying to run the press. That's a common theme in Frank Capra movies, is that one man is able to control the entire press. And it's always Edward Arnold. It's always the same guy doing it. Anyways, I don't know if that's true in all of Frank Capra movies, but I just noticed that now. Weird. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably going to get flack for this video since it's so incredibly popular. Unbelievable. 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb. 114,497 votes. Incredible. This has to be one of the most overrated films, right up there with It's a Wonderful Life. Not coincidentally, the same director and producer. And Citizen Kane, I'd say, have to be this one. It's a Wonderful Life and Citizen Kane have to be the 3 most overrated movies of all time, in my opinion. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't expecting much, but what else can I say? Oh, yeah. So it's a 1939 U.S. political drama film, directed and produced by Frank Capra. The Blondie, I don't recognize. Jean Arthur. I've never seen any of her other films. It's based on Lewis R. Foster's unpublished story, The Gentleman from Montana. He was successful at the box office and made James Stewart a major star. It was loosely based on the life of Montana U.S. Senator Burton Wheeler, who underwent a similar experience when he was investigating the Warren Harding administration. I'd have to say Warren G. Harding is my favorite president. He's definitely my top three, right up there with John Tyler and Grover Cleveland. Those have to be my top three presidents. And they consistently get ranked the worst by lamestream historians. Not the revisionist historians, but the lamestream ones. So it's probably why I dislike this flick. Other than the worship of Abraham Lincoln at his shrine temple there in the Belly of the Beast, Washington, D.C. I've actually been there. My grandfather took me on the same exact trip that James Stewart went through in Washington, D.C., in the Belly of the Beast with the, the Supreme Court, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial. All that stuff, the Smithsonian Museum. That's not in the movie, but I went there. And I went to Robert E. Lee's house where my grandfather bought me a pop gun. That was the highlight of the entire trip right there. Even though Robert E. Lee was a totally incompetent general, he should never been in charge of the Confederate Army. Anyways, it was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, winning, and it won Best Original Story, considered to be one of the greatest films of all time. Notice Citizen Kane is in there, another overrated film. The film was selected by the Library of Congress as one of the first 25 films for preservation in the United States Film Registry in 1989 for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. I just read that from the top part of Wikipedia because I didn't know. Now I know. The reception was pretty brutal. The film was banned in Hitler's Germany, Mussolini's Italy, and Franco's Spain, and of course France, which was German occupied in 1942. There was a ban on American films. Some theaters chose to show Mr. Smith Goes to Washington's last movie before the ban went into effect. One theater owner in Paris reportedly screened the film nonstop for 30 days after the ban was announced. And it was screened. It premiered in Constitutional Hall, Washington, D.C. on October 17th, 1939, sponsored by the National Press Club, an event to which 4,000 guests were invited, including 45 senators. It was attacked by the Washington press and politicians in the U.S. Congress as anti-American, pro-communist for its portrayal of corruption in the American government. Well, we all know that government is corrupt, but I think they picked the wrong type of corruption for this. They're trying to say that Edward Arnold buys he actually buys access to Claude Rains, Senator Payne, as some kind of corrupt graft to obtain land in his home state. So So James Stewart is, one of the senators dies, and Captain January, was Shirley Temple movies. This is the third movie I've seen him in. Some guy named Guy Kibbee, no pun intended. Guy Kibbee is plays the governor of an unnamed western state. I'm presuming it's Montana, but the movie doesn't say. The movie kind of leaves that up in the air. Anyways, he has to pick a replacement for the recently deceased U.S. Senator Sam Foley, but his corrupt political boss, Jim Taylor, played by Edward Arnold, pressures Hopper to choose his hand-picked stooge. So he's got to choose Edward Arnold's hand-picked stooge or some reformer guy named Henry Hill. Horace Miller or Henry Hill. So he flips the coin. The coin lands on its edge right next to the newspaper that has media coverage hyping up James Stewart's efforts to help some Boy Scout outfit called the Boy Rangers. So Hopper chooses Smith, calculating that his wholesome image will please the people and his naivety will make him easy to manipulate. While Smith is enamored by the belly of the beast, he goes to all the monuments, and he especially worships Abraham Lincoln because that's Frank Capra's hero. And so he loves the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. He wants to go to Mount Vernon before he goes to before his first day in the Senate. And he's got Senator Joseph Payne, played by Carl Raines, as a sort of mentor. So he's kind of lost. He's working with the blondie that I mentioned. What's her name? Jean Arthur, Clarissa Saunders. Everybody calls her Saunders, but she prefers to go by Clarissa, apparently. Anyways, just to keep him busy, he's just fidgeting and bumbling the whole time. Which is not to say that, James Stewart didn't put in a tremendous effort to act in this movie. Same with Claude Rains. They both put in tremendous efforts to hype up Frank Capra's political agenda, whatever that is. Nobody knows. They say he's communist. They say he's individualist. The two are not compatible. Anyways, so there's the Taylor political machine that runs everything: the press, the U.S. Senate, and Payne is the one who's doing all the bidding. He's got some kind of a corrupt dam building graft machine going with some kind of scheme going with the Taylor guy, Jim Taylor, played by Edward Arnold. Okay. So Claude Rains proposes that suggests that James Stewart propose a bill in the Senate. So Jean Arthur, who's his secretary, helps him understand the rules and whatnot. So she's helping him along. He gets the bill introduced, and he wants to authorize a federal loan to buy some land in his home state for National Boys Camp. the boy rangers to be paid back by youngsters across America. So he's going to take other people's money and then he's going to pay it back with other people's money again. That's like double taxation. Anyways, this movie's, I didn't understand this movie, and I thought it was a lame commentary on the political landscape in 1939. Apparently it was okay with the Soviet Union, though. They were okay to show it in their country because it did show the corruption in U.S. government angle, which kind of fed into the Red Scare kind of tone of this movie. Anyways, so Claude Rains wants to put, and Jim Taylor, Edward Arnold, they want to put a stop to this bill. So they forge a document that says that James Stewart stands to profit because he owns property on this area that he's trying to get money for. And so they try to turn the tables on James Stewart, and they try to get him. So he's debilitated. He's kind of moping around. Edward Arnold is buying the press to publish negative things about him, and he does a 25-hour filibuster deal, which was the only good thing he ever did in this film, is to filibuster the appropriations bill. Make a government shut down or whatever. The U.S. Senate. And so all the senators are coming and going, and Claude Rains is trying to get his 2 cents in. Even brings bags full of hate mail to the U.S. Senate. And then around the 25th hour, James Stewart collapses in the U.S. Senate. I don't want to spoil the ending, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into this film. I thought I was being generous with 2 out of 5 stars, honestly. But I just want to get it out there that I was intending to go down my list, watch a couple movies, namely The Phantom of the Opera and Platoon Leader. I wanted to do those 2 movies on a Thursday night, Friday morning, but my body was really telling me to get ready for the weekend because I did put in 32 and a half hours in 2 days. And my body knew what was coming during the next 2 days. In fact, I started getting leg cramps and stuff yesterday, but it was telling me to take half an hour nap throughout the entire time that I was planning to watch The Phantom of the Opera and Platoon Leader. So I only watched about maybe 1/4 of The Phantom of the Opera, and I'm liking it so far. Really enjoying it. I think I've seen the updated version of The Phantom of the Opera, different version of it, but I've never seen the Lon Chaney version. And of course, I always loved the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So sorry to taking so long to get to these reviews, and I just got a couple more Netflix to hold my list even longer. But there's Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes long. Way too long. Not enjoyable, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm in the minority. I know it. I'm a historical revisionist. And here's Mutiny on the Bounty. That's I don't even recognize these faces. Is this the right one? It says 1935. I don't even think Marlon Brando was born in 1935. I could be wrong. Maybe it does have Marlon Brando. It's Clark Gable and Charles Lawton, it says on here. And then mix up my disc. All right, let's go down the list since Adrian added another one. Yeah, this is getting ridiculous. I think it's over 20 still. And I can't get around to it because I keep taking nappy poos. I'm supposed to be watching movies. My body's shut down, like I said. Just telling me, you better sleep now because you're going to need it for the next 2 days. All right. So I got the Phantom of the Opera. Started watching that. Very nice film. Nice silent film from 1925. I got the full unedited version, by the way. I don't know what version that Adrian watched. But Platoon Leader Dudikoff is next after that. Force of One. Black Mama, White Mama, 1972. Manson, 1973. Simon, King of the Witches, 1971. Jack the Ripper, 1976. Skyscraper, 1995. To Be the Best, 1993. Deathmatch, 1994. The Uncanny, 1977. This Is Not a Test, 1962. Slave of the Cannibal God, 1978. Last Cry, 2022. Blood Moon. Eye of the Tiger, 1986. Dick Tracy Returns, 1938. Daredevils of the Red Circle, 1939. Curse of the Stone Hand, 1965. Gallery of Horrors, 1967. The Hostage, John Carradine and Harry Dean Stanton. Blood Beach, 1980. And that's my final list. Well, speaking of nappy poo, I'm ready for another one. Hopefully I can wake up and watch Mutiny on the Bounty, but that's another 2 hours and 12 minutes movie. I don't even know if I'll be able to finish Phantom of the Opera today. At the rate I'm going, super slow. Taking it easy. Got to work for another, I don't know, 20, I'll say 23 hours in 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So I'm going to be tired again, but then I get 2 days off. Trying to catch up on these Netflix DVDs and the list that I keep neglecting. Sorry. No wonder Karate Man's not checking out my channel for 1 week. I haven't been reviewing his movies as of late. He's probably sick and tired of me reviewing these classic lamestream movies, which I don't even like for the most part. I'll find an occasional gem that I'll stumble across. But other than that, not much doing with my the lame section of my Netflix queue for the most part. All right. Speaking of Netflix, what do I got coming? I know Netflix is supposed to send me that Indian movie for tomorrow, which I didn't like. I started watching it, and the disc had a tiny scratch, so I had to replace it. It's called Mughal-e-Azam. Some Muslim emperor guy is fighting with his son over the woman that he chooses. I think that's the gist of it. And they used Ted Turner's Crayola crayon in that one. It looks really funky. All right. Then I've got Cary Grant in My Favorite Wife, 1940. Irene Dunn, never heard of her. Anyways, then I got Tales from the Crypt, another Adrian mention, coming from Netflix next week. So I wanted to give you that update, and I'm done updating you with everything and everything. Laters.